Can we get comfortable inside your living room?
Can we keep it simple?
Can we be leaders?
Can we reevaluate this?
Can we embrace real change?
Can we educate the mind?
Can we capture the moments?
Can we remove stereotypes? Can we really do this?
Can we talk?
Springtime is here. Frowns are turned upside down. Hopefully no more snow. Welcome to Can We Talk, episode 2 of season 2. My name is Jarice Dean.
And I'm Nafi Shakir.
And we're back live. Well, not live, but we're back better than ever once again. We have a whole bunch of things to talk about today. Some current events. We're talking about the basic living above your means, which a lot of people do in society, and that's a big societal issue. We're also going to get into something that is real relevant to our age group, which is a quarter-life crisis. So before we get into all of that and get into the rapid fire, let's get to know the crew. We have a new face on episode 2. So let's start it off.
Hi everybody, I'm Courtney Dean. This is my first time on the show. You'll see my face more often, but I am a Westchester alumni, currently employed at Liberty Travel. So if you need your trips booked, find me and I'll book it for you. Unfortunately, I am not from Norristown. I am a Philadelphia native, so I'm happy to be here.
Oh, my name's Craig. Y'all called me for the first time last week. Welcome back.
I'm Danielle Gillo. I'm excited to be back for another episode.
And I'm Steve Taylor, back again. Season 1, Season 2.
Now we're going to roll into our rapid fire section of our show. Today's topic is about a teenage girl who sued her parents over the tuition. She ended up losing the case, but a teenage girl sued her parents because she moved out with her boyfriend. The boyfriend's dad is a lawyer. You know, it's a whole bunch of things going on with this case. Steve, what you know about it?
I know there's a lot of things wrong with it. I mean, first of all, suing your parents, really?
Yeah.
Like, after they took care of you, they did all these things for you. Like, granted, you're going to have some issues and everything, but suing them over money, that's not a smart idea. So what if they said, okay, give me back all the allowance I ever gave you, or all the stuff I ever bought you?
Well,
They chirping.
she sued them because they were too involved in her schooling, correct? And they tried to stop her tuition. Is that what happened? And she was trying to sue them because of that?
They weren't going to pay for it because she decided that she wanted to live with her boyfriend. Exactly. So they decided that they weren't going to pay for her to go to school, and she was like, "Oh no, as my parents, you have to pay for me to go to school," which is not necessarily true.
Well, is that true or not? That's kind of what we're talking about.
Your parents don't have to pay for you to go to school. No. It's up to them. You can take out loans in your parents' name. They can co-sign for you, but if they don't sign on it, they don't have to.
Correct, Matt. What you think?
Sue them for that.
I mean,
it's a high school though.
It's a moral choice. I thought this was about college.
but if she's making,
her high school tuition?
She's a high school, yeah,
Right.
exactly. She's in high school.
but if you,
She get her mind right.
no, but
There's public schools.
if you're making the decision to live on your own or at least away from your parents, then you're making an adult decision, and that adult decision doesn't yield you, funding from your parents. If you want to live on your own, live with your boyfriend, or live with friends, then you figure out how to educate yourself and pay for your education. The fact that she has to pay a tuition at all might be something else to question.
It's called tough love. You're not just going to, be a little fast butt and move out with your little boyfriend still in high school and think that you're going to get all the amenities as if you were living under your parents' house and rule.
Doing what you were supposed to do.
It doesn't work that way. I know it doesn't work that way in my household. I wish I would move out with my boyfriend in high school. First of all, my mom, I would probably be dead by now. But the second part is, my parents would stop taking care of me because it's like, oh, you grown enough to live with somebody?
So
you
you're
grown
grown
enough to
enough
pay
to
for
go.
your own bills.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about just who has the right to even want to sue inside their family. I mean,
The only reason why she has the power to sue is because the boyfriend that she moved out with, dad is a lawyer. So he's
So we should've
representing
known
her.
That's
better.
her trouble from the beginning.
So that's
listening
even
to
the
that-
reason why she can
to
even
that
sue in the
boy.
first place.
That was her trouble from the beginning. She's listening to this boy, and he probably coerced her into, oh, well, you should sue your parents, and my dad will represent you. Like, she already
The dad
was
shouldn't
there.
represent though, because
At the
he's
end
a
of the
parent
day-
and he should know better too. He's tricky.
True.
They at the end of the day, like Fee said, she did lose the case. But that was just something that we had to throw out there because you don't hear about a high school student suing their parents every day. Next topic though. Have you guys heard about the breakdancing crew that got pulled off SEPTA?
No.
Oh, I did
You
hear
heard about
about it.
that?
Well, yeah, because I'm from Philly, so
How
I
do you
heard
feel
about
about that? Like they weren't, they had some SEPTA riders that complained a little bit.
Yeah.
But they weren't, the breakdancers weren't doing anything.
Were they just dancing?
To be
They were
honest,
I was going to ask, what exactly
to be
happened?
honest,
They were
SEPTA
dancing
riders
around.
complain about a lot of stuff, but it was a group of young men that were, every day they would get on the train basically and they would just dance, and if people wanted to offer them tips for their dancing, they could, but some people felt like they were a nuisance or they were in the way, because if you ever been on a SEPTA train, it's not a lot of space.
No.
So they're doing like, you know, pinwheels and barrels and all this stuff in the middle of this little aisle, and it does get in the way. But they're not soliciting you for money, and they're not begging you for anything. I've been on the train plenty of times that had bums and people that shouldn't be on the train begging me for more than what they should even be asking me for. So these young men are just, you know, staying out of trouble, one, and two, just doing something that they love, and now it's like, oh no, you can't do that. So, like,
But this
how
is
much
my
more are we
question,
going to
though.
take away from these
But
kids?
this is my question. As a SEPTA passenger, would you guys have a problem with it?
I'm about to say, you could do that on the platform, and it also depends what time do they do it, because I've been on SEPTA at like, 8 o'clock at night, or like in the morning it's like crazy packed, as well as 5 o'clock it's crazy packed, and if somebody tries to dance in that, it's not a
So they
good
tried to
look.
walk.
Exactly, it's bad.
So you guys wouldn't be cool with it?
No, stand on the platform. We'll give you some money, put a hat out there. Like, if you want to do it late at night and stuff like that, cool. But
I think it's just
it's being
I think
considerate.
it may be a cultural thing that people from Philly just don't understand. Like, it happens in New York all the time, and I don't hear anybody getting pulled off of trains. for
maybe
doing
their
it.
trains are bigger.
Well,
No, their trains are not bigger, and their trains are even like not as big.
Maybe their dance moves are better.
It's a little split. So real quick before we go to this next topic, because I want to get to this. So you wouldn't have a problem with
No,
it?
I put my iPod on. I don't think people don't mind.
Craig Matt?
As long as I got my elbow space.
Danielle said.
It depends on the time of day.
True.
Headphones, I don't care. Do you?
I like. Okay.
No problem. Don't skip me. You can't even skip me. No problem.
Now, real quick, because we have to get out of here with rapid fire. But I know everyone heard about the state trooper that killed his wife by accident. The report says it's by accident. He was cleaning his gun, and he shot her.
No.
I'll take that one.
Well, and this is my thing, Craig Matt, because I have to get your opinion on this. Is anything fishy about that story?
I think the whole thing's fishy.
What happened? Explain what happened, because I don't know what happened.
He was cleaning his gun. When he cleaned his gun, he shot her in the head, and she died. She was pregnant.
His wife, he's a state trooper. He's been on the force for, I think, at least 9 years.
So he knows how to use a gun.
He knows how to handle a gun, how
Why would she even
to
know
clean a
She
gun.
gets shot in the head on the first
In the
try.
head.
And,
Like, you clean the gun down here.
she's-
Was she cleaning the gun up here somewhere?
She's
and her
also
head
been around
messed up?
law enforcement, like her whole life. I think she spent like 15 years. She was in Marines administration, and then she worked at the court or in the district. And immediately, the first thing that came out was they didn't even know who was shot. They just said it was an accident. And for that kind of headline to come out before they even dig into really what happened, I think is just, somebody trying to cover up and make it look good for him. But definitely something fishy happened.
Like it was, when I heard the story, and the more, like you said, that came out, it really didn't seem too put together.
And I didn't know this happened locally. Stony Creek Road in East Norton. That's
Yep.
right on Germantown Pike.
Yep.
Crazy.
Might be in your backyard.
But wait,
Can we talk about that?
and that's what I
Your
really would
backyard.
do. I think we should go into make that a topic in itself in a different episode. But we do have to get out of here for the rapid fire that ended. now we're going to get into our first topic. Now, definitely relevant, like I said, to everybody, and on this panel at least, which is a quarter-life crisis. Now, we all heard of a midlife crisis, but a quarter-life crisis is something that's really it's becoming pretty popular because a lot of just how we talked about last episode actually, Danielle. Times are different. A lot of people at the age of 25 now are not doing what a lot of people at the age of 25, or just say 20 years ago when you were 25, you were not doing the same things that you were now if you're a 25-year-old. A lot of people have kids and families and were really secure back then. Now, it's a lot of insecurity, a lot of up in the air, where is my life going? So what we did was we did some research on the quarter-life crisis, and I found a book that described a quarter-life crisis as being when young adults emerge at graduation from almost 2 decades of schooling, during which each step to take is clearly marked. They encounter an overwhelming number of choices regarding their careers, finances, homes, and social networks. Now, before we get more into that, just tell us, crew, do you guys feel like, Alpha, you're doing some research on the quarter-life crisis, do you guys feel like you guys are in a quarter-life crisis? Does it apply to you in any capacity? Let's start it off. Craig Mack?
I think there's definitely a social pressure, and I can feel it personally, but I know that, other people just kind of deal with it. As to, you want to make sure that you're getting off on the right foot, and you want to have the right job lined up, and with the way the economy was and the way it's been, you don't know if you're necessarily making the right moves all the time, but you're trying to look out for what's best for you, and I feel like that I'm just at that point as well where, I could probably do better, but I'm doing okay where I'm at right now.
I can see it. I know they spoke about talking or comparing yourself to how your parents were back in the day at your age and how you are, and it is a difference. Like, my mom bought a house back then, at the age of 25, and just things like that. I feel like at my age, I'm not prepared for, and not even because I don't have a job or anything like that. I'm in grad school, but also I'm coming out of undergrad with how many $1,000s in debt, which my mom didn't have to deal with. So that's a whole nother issue in itself. We're all buying these expensive cars and things like that and ending up moving back home. You know what I mean? Those types of things I think can contribute to feeling like you're not where you need to be at a certain age. But that's also a society norm or standard, because it's who says that's where you should be at this certain age? So
That's true. Everything's changed. I mean, like you said, school, and I feel like too, just with our generation, I feel like by the time we're in our 40s, what a high school diploma used to be as far as job security and getting everything, I feel like a college degree is shifting towards that. So even when people get degrees, you have this pressure, and you're like, wow, having a degree is just what a high school diploma used to mean back in the day, except with a high school diploma, you don't have all this debt, you don't have all these different things to worry about. I know I was going through a quarter-life crisis when I got gray hair, and then another one came. So
that was an issue.
That's an issue, but it's not crazy yet.
I don't necessarily feel like I'm going through a quarter-life crisis. A lot of the research that I did on quarter-life crisis compares what age you are now to the age your parents were at that age that your parents were, and what were they doing at your age, and what are you doing? And I guess it's just a situational thing, because my mom was not doing the things that I'm doing now. She didn't go to college. She didn't have her own place. She was living with someone. She was renting a room, actually. So it's just for me to have achieved as much as I have thus far, I feel good about it. I am in debt because of college. I do struggle sometimes when it comes to getting, my bills and stuff paid. But I just made an Instagram post yesterday. I felt real good because all my bills was paid, and I had more money left over than I thought I would. I was ready to jump up and just kiss somebody, but it was just I felt real good. So it's just I guess it really depends on what you have to base it on. If you have very successful people in your life and you're not doing as much as they were, then it may be a struggle. But if you're coming from a situation where it was a lot of poverty and negativity and you're doing better than that, then you're already above the game.
To piggyback off that, good parenting should lead as good parents, you should want better for your kids. It sounds like to me, your mom, she started, not saying start from the bottom, now you're on the top, but you know, your mom wanted better for you, therefore that's why you do have your degree. And not necessarily you're doing worse or you're doing bad because you don't have your own, or we're not like back in the day parents. I feel so quarter life crisis is really about keeping it real for yourself. You know, it's not really a crisis if you manage it. It's really about how do you manage your life. You know, quarter life crisis, are we supposed to have our own house? Are we supposed to have our degree? You know, my uncle always says, make it through your 20s. Your 30s are kind of for you to establish it. I don't really agree with that because we don't know when we're going to time it out, but it is a good platform to go. And I do agree with you when it comes down to parents providing better for their parents. That's what parents are supposed to do, provide better for their families.
I agree with you, Court, because I know with my parents too. My parents were married at 25, and you know they had me, or I think they had me. I know they had my sister. I'm not sure. but the fact of the matter is, they were married. You know, getting established, building a foundation, everything. Me, I don't have any kids. I'm chasing after my goals. You know what I mean? My aspirations right now.
But don't you think that's one of the pressures? Like now, quarter life crisis, so many people are getting married so young, and it's like, what are they rushing into?
So
That's true.
you got to stop paying attention to other people and start paying attention more to yourself. That's the problem
Before we do that, because we have to take a break real quick. We'll be right back. Craig, we'll start right off with that. So we'll be right back in a minute.